It's a cult worship. They believe in sex magic. These people wrote extensively about the sex parties they were having, that they were summoning demons. The craziest part is the people that protect them. That's hard to know, that people I come up with in politics will look the other way for the right price.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back again, and I hope every single one of you are doing well as usual. You're going to need to hit the like button and hit the hype button for this one. Candace Owens has literally just done a podcast with Sean Ryan. This is extremely interesting. She exposes everything. In fact, I haven't even finished the podcast yet. I'm only halfway through it. It's 4 hours and 40 minutes long. I know there's a number of people just like myself that are big fans of Candace Owens. We're talking about an extremely determined individual. She's very intelligent, very smart, very informative, and she's very similar to us on this channel in a sense of she questions the mainstream narratives. Not only does she question and challenge the mainstream narratives, but she is someone that also stands up for free speech. Free speech. Something that our government here in the UK are currently trying to take away from us. But most of us will know Candace through her time at Turning Point and her support for Charlie Kirk. She has been riding and dying. I think most people in the world would want a friend like Candace Owens. Someone who isn't fazed by influence, power, or money. She will still stand on business. Let her voice be heard. I mean, at this point, you can kind of call her the voice of justice. The way she's been riding for Charlie. She has her own podcast, she has her own YouTube channel, and it does extremely well, ladies and gentlemen. Today, she produces independent content covering politics and media and global affairs. And in this podcast, she literally exposes everything. She goes through everything. She talks about Charlie Kirk, as you can imagine. In fact, the headline of the podcast is, I don't believe Tyler Robertson was even there. I mean, we've done a number of videos on Charlie Kirk over here. We didn't actually get down to the bottom of what happened. So many theories, so many different conspiracies. As you can see, it still hasn't been solved. I mean, Tyler Robertson is more or less the guy they're claiming to be the perpetrator. Candace Owens doesn't agree with that. I mean, at this point, I don't even know what the full updates are on the Charlie Kirk case, but they go into the Charlie Kirk case. She exposes Hollywood, she exposes the governments, she exposes what's happening behind the scenes, what truly happens behind the scenes. And when you hear what Candace Owens has to say, you just gotta listen. She literally goes into so much in this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, talking about Michael Jackson, talking about Kanye West. It's very, very interesting. And I haven't even gotten to that point in the actual podcast. Like I told you, I'm only halfway through it. So what I need from you is to leave all your thoughts, all your comments down below, subscribe to the channel if we're newly watching, hit that like button, which is really important, hit the hype button, which is also important, and fasten your seatbelt, because we are about to dive into a very, very interesting show. Make sure you go and watch the full podcast as well. Like I said, it's 4.5 hours long. And let's dive into this. This is very interesting. Get your cup of coffee ready. Let's go.
Yeah, that's all real. It's a cult worship. They believe in sex magic. These people wrote extensively about the sex parties they were having, that they were summoning demons. The craziest part is the people that protect them. That's hard to know, that people I come up with in politics will look the other way for the right price. Everyone knew what Epstein was doing, and then he was protected, and they knew they went to prison.
I think about this shit all the time. I got a hot question for you. So we had Claude scrape the internet for the most viral question, and here it is. This week, a hacktivist leaked the membership of Dialogue, a secret invitation-only society Peter Thiel founded in 2006, with a roster that reportedly includes a sitting Treasury Secretary, senators, and military and intelligence officials. So here's the question. Have you looked into this at all? And what's your take?
What's the group called? Did they find out the name?
Dialogue.
Oh, it's called Dialogue? I mean, my general instinct on Peter Thiel is no. His name is an anagram for the reptile. It's a no. He appears in the Epstein files so much after lying to Joe Rogan and saying like, oh, he helped me with some math stuff. It was weird. The emails were weird. It seems like they're like meeting up for dalliances and all across New York City. It's just weird. It's very strange, the emails, and it's a hard no. But also I think I had my opinion colored because Dave Rubin told me about how he partied with him on his island. He also has an island, by the way.
Who does?
Peter Thiel.
He's
I learned
got
this
an
from
island
Dave
too?
Rubin. Mm-hmm. And Dave Rubin told me the story that still lives inside of me. And he'll deny it, but Peter Thiel will hear this and know I'm telling the truth because I couldn't have known it otherwise. But him and his husband went to Peter Thiel's island, which is in like off the coast of Hawaii. He just kind of bought an island. This is what you do at a certain level. And he has his house on it. And he, I guess, got to an age where he realized that like he needed somewhere to dump his wealth. So he decided to have a kid, got a surrogate, whatever. And he said it was the weirdest thing because once his son was born, they all were there on the island. And Peter Thiel is building a house next door for the nannies to raise the child. And he said when they brought the child around the table at his house, they were basically like the servants were like presenting the child, and Peter was just sort of like looking at the child like, yes, yeah, there he is or whatever. And it was like very strange and detached, and that, they partied with Peter Thiel. And I'll leave it at
I mean, the way she describes that is like the child was just a product.
that, but I had my opinions about who Peter Thiel is was shaped by Dave Rubin. It's not a guy that I want in authority to make any decisions whatsoever. That's a dark, dark, dark future.
They just released a shit ton of names that are in this thing. Have you seen this yet? I think they did it while we were sitting in here. I just saw it on the last break. We'll put the names up on screen right now so everybody can read them. Here's a follow-up question. Across everything you've dug into, true crime, cults, criminal networks, what's the single most disturbing thing you've found that you actually believe is real? You come across some dark shit, so.
Yeah, I mean, the understanding, the pedophilia, that's all real. It's all real. It's a cult worship, and it goes back to, like, they believe in sex magic. And
Sex magic?
Sex magic. You could get into like Aleister Crowley. All that's real. I mean, he wrote books about it. It's not like they were trying to hide it, but these are the elites. Like these aren't people that are at the bottom. It's why I find it hilarious when people believe in the moon landings. I'm like, do you know the history of the Jet Propulsion Labs and that it was created by Aleister Crowley's acolyte, a protege, so to speak? These people wrote extensively about the sex parties they were having, that they thought they were summoning demons. They were summoning demons. I thought they could. They were summoning demons, and they harm children. That is the world we live in, and I think that is very disturbing to have to contend with that. And the craziest part is the people that protect them. Oh, for money. That's hard to know that people I come up with in politics will look the other way for the right price. Think about that. Everyone knew what Epstein was doing, and then he was protected, and they knew that he went to prison.
I think about this shit all the time. Yeah. It's so fascinating wouldn't be the right word, but it's interesting to see how these people think that they have amassed so much power, but they really have zero power. The only fucking thing that they can really do is introduce a bill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean,
they can't even fucking say what's on their mind.
Yeah.
They're powerless. They're fucking, they're controlled. Mm-hmm. I think that, I think that's a way a means to control people is to get them into politics.
Yeah. They control Congress. There's no question about it.
But they really think that they have fucking power.
Well, in many ways, they find people who are pedophiles already, and then they empower them. Give them churches, give them, I was like shocked looking at the history of the Calvary Chapel Church when I was looking into like Rob McCoy. It's unbelievable how many people like are reformed, whatever, and then end up being reformed at all. It's a system. It's for sure.
Lying, hiding behind closed doors, continuing to commit heinous crimes.
Or a system, and that's not imagined. And you need to wake up and realize that our world is in fact being run by pedophiles. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Epstein thing didn't wake you up to the fact that it's left and right, you're still asleep. Mm-hmm. If you think that our troubles in this country are white versus black, you're still asleep. If you think it's gay versus straight, you're still asleep. If you think it's like, feminism versus chauvinism, you're still asleep. We've got way bigger problems, and these are ancient problems that we have. People that worship and summon demons and believe in the occult and do it in your face. I believe Charlie's assassination was an occult ritual. Everything about it. Yeah, everything about it. And I believe the people around him are into dark, demonic stuff.
I mean, when you told me at dinner that he was assassinated in the middle of a pentagram, I was like, holy shit.
And someone sent me an old Freemason Bible, and it showed how they believe that you have to be in a pentagram to sacrifice someone. Literally shows you, like, there's a map inside of the Freemason Bible. And I looked at it and I said, Charlie was sitting in a pentagram.
And the maddest thing is when I first watched this part, I went and done a bit of research, and I found this. It's extremely interesting.
Where did the
A
Freemasons
pentagon.
come from?
Well,
You know the history of that?
Yeah, I actually just read a book for in our book club called The Secret History of America by Nicholas Hager. Really, really important read. An academic read, but a very a challenging one, an important one to get into the history of Freemasonry. And I guess Freemasonry, in many ways, obviously, it traces back. It's biblical. So you have to think about different iterations. So it's like Solomon's temple, the masons of the temple is kind of what they're hinting at. But in terms of like the modern introduction into Western society, it begins with Francis Bacon and Paris, where Paris seems to be the home of a lot of the things that have happened in these secret societies. It's like they go to Paris to be initiated. The same thing for Sigmund Freud. He studied under Charcot. And he was similarly initiated. I don't think it's a coincidence that Paris's code is 33. If you want to dial up to Paris, it's 33. It's home of the French Revolution. There's a lot that has happened in Paris. There's a lot of evil that is taken place. But the Freemason Society, I mean, this gets into the infiltration of the Knights Templar, an intentional infiltration by Adam Weishaupt, who was funding the infiltration of various Freemason groups and bringing them all together under the Illuminati. Our founding fathers were Freemasons, and the Nicholas Hager book carefully walks you through even the symbolism on the back of a $1 bill. And to be clear, when they joined the Illuminati, it was after the Revolutionary War, but it was always done in mind, and Adam Weishaupt was an open Satanist, with using Christianity as a shell to further their satanic causes. So you have to really go backward to understand the theology, the infiltration, how the Scottish Rite, which is the Scottish Rite Freemasons, which had everything to do with establishing America, was really dating back from France, and the Catholic Church having Jacques de Molay hung. I think he was hung. He was killed. And these groups then went into Scotland, and that book just helps you trace how these Freemason groups arrived into America. And for them, it was seen as a new Atlantis. Okay. We keep getting caught doing all this crazy stuff across the European continent. It's always been a war against the Catholic Church. They're all explicit in their hatred of the Catholic Church, which is very compelling to me. It's
Why do you think they're against the Catholics so much?
Because the Catholics were calling them what they were, Satanists. I mean, the rewrite of history, Isabella of Spain, she should be sainted. They're constantly, everything you learn about Catholicism and the history of Catholicism is just crap in school. And there's a reason for that, because America was designed to be anti-Catholic, to be anti-Orthodox. And the reason is because Catholics hold the history. They know what they were doing on that continent. America is supposed to be kept fat, happy, and young. I truly believe that. And now America, well, we were fat, happy, and young for 250 years. And now we're arriving into our adolescent phase, and people are starting to look in the right places. It's why I encourage people to go to Russia. Russia holds the key to a lot of secrets of these maniacal psychopaths who have arrived in America, who say, well, my great so-and-so went to Russia. got you clocked, know exactly who your great-grandfather must have been and your bloodthirst. The Bible says you will know them by their fruits. You do. You do. Do you have to imagine who Mark Levin's ancestors were who were in Russia? No, I got to guess. I'm going to guess they were killing the shit out of Bolsheviks, if I just had to guess. I mean, they were killing the shit out of Christians, if I had to guess. I mean, they must have been they must have built the Gulag system. There's a bloodlust that exists and an anger that is just so perceptible that's why you say you will know them by their fruits. It's the way they speak about people. There's a happiness in their eyes when they're talking about like murder. It's weird. Sometimes when I watch clips that will go viral of Ben Shapiro or Mark Levin, there's something in their like demeanor and their eyes that it's so dark. I mean, it's so dark where you really go, I think you are happy. It makes you happy when kids are being killed in Gaza. Like there's something, it's very disturbing. They're not having the same reaction as we are having. And you see it in their tweets. They're hungry for more death and destruction.
Oh no, I've seen it. I've seen it in person.
It's dark.
I've seen it here in this room.
It's dark. That can only come from worshiping
like they're fucking foaming at the mouth.
Yeah. That can only
Like a
come
demon.
from the Prince of Darkness. Because when spirits are light and happy and you have a reaction to seeing a dead kid, doesn't matter what the race of the kid is. Doesn't matter what the race of the kid is. You don't get up on the airways and go, oh, well, that's what happens. You're going to get some more of that. Like what Ben Gavir is saying, there's something very wrong with these people. And so you don't have to imagine who they are the children of. And that's why you don't have to get into the weeds on it either. It's like, God gave you intuition, He gave you intuition to know when somebody is spiritually disturbed. And that's putting it mildly. Something about post-October 7th, you can see the flicker of demonology in their eyes now. And the satisfaction they get from knowing that they're hurting other people.
I mean, we just read that tweet.
Yeah. Honest.
There's 1,000 more just like it
Honest.
from other people in powerful positions over there.
Mm-hmm.
There's been so many things that to me that prove how bad the influence is. Like sending that fucking pedophile back to Israel. You saw that, right? Well, he was in the cyber team, or they're one of the top guys in their cybersecurity fucking wing of the idea. I don't know, whatever. Came here luring, 12-year-olds or something in on the internet to fuck them. Mm-hmm. We didn't do anything to them. We just packaged them up and sent them back to Israel.
Where he can do that freely, by the way, because they've been harboring and protecting pedophiles for a while.
We're just cattle to them, right?
Mm-hmm. Because it gets into that frankest faith that actually dominates the frankest beginnings, the frankest origins of Israel. That's not Judaism. The Star of David is not the Star of David. It's Solomon's Keys. Look up at Aleister Crowley's book. He's got the Star of David all over it. It's about summoning demons. It's Baal worship. And they don't want you to peer to know the history of that. But that's the reality. So Star of David. But people are waking up to that, and I think that's why they have a certain... It's almost like they're under pressure right now. Like their lust for destruction has never been louder. They're like shape-shifting. I think it's the best way to put it. I feel like we're watching people who used to play human shape-shift into demons. in real life.
Wow, some very interesting takes and views being made by Candace Owens in this podcast. This was only 16 minutes. Like I said earlier, I haven't even personally got through this, but I saw this clip and I had to bring it to your attention because there's some interesting things to take away from it. And I need your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I need to know exactly what you guys are thinking, especially if you want me to be back here reacting to more of this podcast. If you've already seen the podcast, let me know your favorite parts of it and I'll try and respond to as many of you as I possibly can. In the meantime, just hit the like button, subscribe, turn your notification bells on. We're gonna be back. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.